So for Learning Target 5.1, the directions say to make your scatter plot. It's going to give me a table and about the number of people in room and its temperature in degrees Fahrenheit. Some things to pay attention to, let me get rid of that, are it says make sure to use axis labels, a title, and include an appropriate scale. And your scale is always going to start at 0 and go from there. So here's my data table, and I have number of people and temperature. The independent variable should always go on the horizontal axis. The dependent variable should always go on the vertical axis. Well, the number of people in a room doesn't depend on the temperature, although I guess if it was really cold, no one would want to be there, but really the temperature in the room depends on how many people are in the room. So the temperature is going to change based on the number of people. So I'm going to put my temperature here and my people here when I do this graph. So my horizontal axis, I look and my largest value looks like 74. So I'm going to need to make sure I can get over to at least 74, which means if I probably go by fives, I need to get to 75 here, and I need to get to 85 here. So as I get ready to set up my graph, those are my considerations. I was able to, with the graphing grid that was given, go by fives. Now I already plotted the points because it takes a long time to do it on here, and I didn't want the video to be terribly long. So you'll see on the next screen, I went by fives on my horizontal axis and fives on my vertical axis. Don't always have to go by the same thing, but given the data, that's the way it worked out. My title, number of people versus room temperature. The number of people went on the horizontal axis, the temperature in degrees Fahrenheit went on the vertical axis, and then I plotted the points that were given to me. And my graph ultimately looked like this. Now once I finished the graph, it asked me a couple of questions. It said, what type of correlation do you see, and explain why you chose this? Well, my thinking is, although these points are not perfectly linear, I can't draw a line through this and hit every point. They're actually grouped pretty close together, pretty close to a straight line. So I said that it was a strong correlation, not a perfect one. A perfect one would be if when I drew a line through, I could absolutely draw a line and hit every single point. And it's positive because if I think just about a general line of fit, I'm not drawing the actual line of fit here, but a general line of fit, if I drew this line in through those points, the slope of that line is positive. So the temperature increases as the number of people also increases. As one increases, the other one does too. So that's really what I ended up putting in my answers here. What type of correlation do I see, and explain why I chose it? It's a strong positive correlation. My explanation is the points are fairly close to linear and the temperature increases as the number of people increases. Some people said strong positive, but they didn't explain. And then what does my correlation mean about the relationship between people and temperature? The temperature of the room increases as the number of people in the room increases. So that is Learning Target 5.1.